Right. Okay. Excellent question. So why is it, given all this stuff about the immune system, that people do stuff like go to psychotherapy or grief counseling or any kind of counseling? Why would we do this? And I'm going to get to this. I'm going to give a pretty thorough answer over the course of the end of this lecture. But the main reason is that it may be the case you never totally did understand it before you just repressed it and put it away. And so the purpose of this kind of counseling, of most kinds of counseling, really, is to help you understand the sources of negative things that happen to you. Or at least that's what I would say is the main function of counseling. Okay. But we'll get to it. So the pen and paper essay exercise, which you've now done twice, and I appreciate you going with me on this because it's an unusual assignment, possibly the weirdest assignment that you'll ever do in college. I mean, remember, we don't even know what you wrote, right? We tore off the cover page and just graded what you turned it in. Now that's weird. That don't happen in college very much, but it did. It happened here. And the reason that I signed it was to illustrate a concept, and it is immune neglect. Pennebaker and his colleagues have studied the effects of doing a several-day introspective essay writing exercise, and they've done it on college students, people from the community, as in like normal people. I don't know why they say that. They're like people from the larger community, and you're talking about just normal people. Okay. So prisoners, people who've been laid off from work, people who are seeing clinical psychologists, new mothers, and so on. So they've done it on, regular folks like, I'm in here, I guess, you're in here, but then also people that are under some sort of duress, right? People who've been laid off, or are in prison, or are seeing, psychologists, or are just had a kid. And here's the Pennebaker introspection prompt. It's almost exactly the one that you responded to. For the next 3 days, it's a little bit different. I would like you to write about your very deepest thoughts and feelings about an extremely important emotional issue that has affected you in your life. In your writing, I'd like you to really let go and explore your very deepest emotions and thoughts. You might tie your topic to your relationships with others, including parents, lovers, friends, or relatives, to your past, your present, or your future, or to who you have been, who you would like to be, or who you are now. People sometimes find this distressing to write, and many of you reported back to me that you did find it distressing to write, and people in past classes have reported that back to me. So why the heck do I keep assigning this essay exercise every time I teach this class? Because research shows very positive long-term effects from engaging in this essay exercise. I mean, so positive that you may struggle to even believe these effects. But the research on this is very strong. I read a meta-analysis last year of all these studies that were done on this essay writing exercise. Well over 1,000 subjects have participated in various studies, all these different groups of people, and they reported a variety of positive effects on both mental and physical well-being. So, or not just reported, measured in a variety of ways. So mental well-being, people report better mood, higher improved subjective well-being, in other words, happiness, life satisfaction, better grades in college. People who do a 3-day introspective writing exercise have a detectably higher GPA in college for people who don't. Reduced symptoms from post-traumatic stress disorder, increased working memory capacity. Also, physical well-being. People miss fewer days of work. They report lower rates of illness, better physical immune system functioning, fewer visits to the doctor or student clinic, depending on the study they did it on, reduced blood pressure, better lung and liver functioning in people who had afflicted lung and liver problems. So some of these effects are for afflicted populations, people with lung problems, people with arthritis. Immune system functioning effect was amongst HIV patients. And right now you're probably saying, what the heck is going on? How could this essay exercise that you took part in have these kinds of positive effects on people? How could it possibly be the case? Well, really quickly, there were some differences between your assignment and the typical one. I tried to tone it down a little bit. They usually ask you to write about the most traumatic experience of your entire life. That's pretty heavy, so I didn't, if you chose to write on that, that's cool. But I did not require you to write on that. I didn't require you to write it at all. There were optional assignments. Normally, there are not optional assignments, just the option to quit doing it. And you should really write it in about 4 sessions of 15 minutes each. But I have a limited ability to really get you to do this, so I did it 2. Right? I tried to get you to do 4 sessions. You're going to do what you're going to do, right? So why does it work so well? Why would it be that an introspective essay exercise that you do over 3 days in 4 sessions, 15 minutes each, this really small investment of time, how is it that it have such enormous positive impacts on physical and mental well-being? Well, there's probably a lot of reasons. One of them is mental repression / inhibition, that work that you do, holding at bay negative thoughts that you're trying not to confront and trying not to think about from terrible or challenging or difficult things that have happened to you in your life. Doing that, holding those thoughts at bay, may be very stressful and taxing. And this fits well with some of the results. When you're very stressed out, you tend to pump higher levels of cortisol, and you would have lower reported mood, you would be distracted, your working memory capacity might be worse. But also, when you're pumping lots of cortisol because you're really stressed out, your body sort of channels lots of energy into being mentally aware, producing cortisol, and being on edge all the time, and doesn't do a good job of keeping your physical immune system functioning. So it's the case that non-human animals, primates, that have high cortisol levels tend to get sick at high rates. Humans do as well. So why when you get really, really stressed out at school or at work, you tend to start catching colds, catching the flu, and so on. So it's not surprising that if this introspective essay exercise can cause you to stop repressing things and stop being so stressed out, then it'll improve your physical and mental well-being. That's not too surprising. Also, it may be the case that you fear a sort of social stigma associated with disclosure about whatever you wrote about. So whatever it is that you wrote about in your essay assignment, maybe you wrote about multiple things, it may be that you imagine in your head that you would face some terrible stigma, people would judge you were you to communicate it. This is why I think it's useful to have people read the essay. The fact that whatever you wrote will be read by someone, and in a sense it'll be understood, you'll be heard, and you won't be judged. But also, you'll have the experience of communicating this stuff, even just in a sheet of paper. Even just writing it down, you can kind of say, wow, that wasn't so awful. I'm not being judged. I'm getting it off my chest. I'm expressing this thought that I have, this feeling or experience I have. It's not so bad. I'm not being judged. I know that's strange that communicating even alone to a sheet of paper might reduce feelings of stigma, but it can. And in a lot of ways, this is the same reason that therapy and counseling works well. Speaking to a therapist or a friend is also helpful for these reasons and others. This is probably why people who have friends and friendship networks that are really positive or lots of friends tend to be happier, and it's why it's important to cultivate and honor good relationships with friends. But most of all, this is the biggest reason that we think the Pennebaker introspective essay writing exercise works. This is the biggest reason, is the affective immune system. You have an affective immune system, but remember, you have to understand events in order to get over them. Remember that when you were given the silver dollar with no explanation at all, you felt better longer. Likewise, when something terrible happens to you, or something troubling or disturbing happens to you, and you don't understand it, you haven't created a story or a narrative to understand it, then you can't get over it, or you can't get over it as well or as quickly as you would like to. Normally, your affective immune system will take good care of you. It'll help you get over negative events really quickly, but not if you don't understand them. And there's something about big, traumatic, difficult events and challenges in your life that we struggle to really understand them in a way that works for our affective immune system. Instead, when something really big and bad happens to you, we tend to just kind of stuff it down and ignore it and not make a story or narrative or framework for understanding it that would then trigger your affective immune system and allow you to get better faster. So that's one of the reasons we think that introspection, be it on the Pennebaker essay exercise, be it with a therapist or counselor, be it with friends or family members you trust and can confide in, is one of the reasons we think that it makes you feel better, is it helps you create a narrative or a story for understanding negative events that happen to you. And if you think back to deep conversations you may have had with friends or family or therapists, they have this kind of similar signature, right, where you are sort of going back and forth with somebody trying to create a story by which you can understand the events. You try to understand, why did that person do that? Why does this keep happening to me? And so on. You have these questions, and you try and get answers to them. And consistent with this explanation, they've done a study of what characteristics of the essays that people write in this Pennebaker essay exercise, what characteristics of the essays predict more positive effects. This is something that you're very interested in right now, probably, right? Like, wait, am I one of those people who's going to get higher grades, and go to clinic labs and have better immune system functioning and feel better? Or am I going to be like one of the people that doesn't happen for some reason? Because it doesn't happen to everybody. And they find that those who respond best start out somewhat incoherent in their explanations about things, but then by the end, it becomes a more organized story or narrative. And many of yours in class on the first essay were a lot like this, and in previous classes was like this, and mine was like this actually. When you first go to write about it, it's something you don't think about, right? It's something you try not to think about, or for a lot of you, this is the experience. It's something you don't spend a lot of time articulating, you don't have a coherent narrative for understanding it, but then as you write on it multiple times, over time, you come to be much clearer and articulate. You can articulate the causes, consequences, the meaning of it. And it's not necessarily the case that it makes whatever it was you wrote about positive. You know, you can't really do that, right? I mean, depending on what you wrote about, maybe you did the optional assignment, this is all just pointless. But regardless of what you wrote about, even if it was something that was sort of mild, it wasn't the worst thing in the world, or if it was something terrible, the point isn't necessarily to reappraise it as a positive thing. The point of this exercise isn't self-delusion. It's not to try to rephrase something that's obviously a negative thing as a positive thing. That's not the point. And I don't think good counseling does that. Instead, what it does is it causes you to create this narrative for understanding it, triggering your affective immune system. And in this way, you can sort of own the meaning of negative things that happen to you, right? It's a very powerless and inefficacious and unagentic feeling to have things that haunt you that you can't do anything about, memories or events in your life that you don't have any power over. And the way they affect you is out of your hands. And if you go to write this essay exercise for the first time, that's kind of what it is, right? You're inarticulate. You don't really understand it. All you really know is that it bothers you. Or again, for many of you, this might have been the experience. But then as you write on, you come to own the meaning and interpretation of the thing that happened to you. And that feeling can be empowering and can put you in charge of your own mind. And that's a powerful thing. So these are some of the reasons why we think that this works. Your affective immune system works well if you understand the things that happen to you, but you must give some thought to the issue in order to construct a narrative or a meaning that you can then use to get over it. And this points to one of the fundamental values of counseling and psychotherapy. Counseling and psychotherapy tend to make people feel better and more mentally healthy. But research shows, and this research is cited in the Wilson book, Strangers to Ourselves, research shows that it doesn't matter so much what kind of therapy you go to. In fact, a lot of people go to therapy and they don't even realize that their psychotherapist has some kind of theory or theoretical background that's guiding their counseling. But most of them do. If you're a trained psychologist, you're trained in one of many traditions, like maybe you're psychodynamic or you are behavioral therapist or something like that. And a lot of the time, people go, talk about their troubles, leave, and never even really figure out what theory the psychotherapist is working with. But to them, that's some empimportant stuff. They're employing that when they're talking to you every time. They're like, how could you change your behavior? And they're using their theory on you. But what research shows is it doesn't matter so much. That all of them help. All of the major schools of thought on counseling and therapy, when employed by trained therapists, are pretty helpful to people and make people feel better. It leads to more positive mental well-being. And if you're thinking about going to a counselor, but you're not for some reason, be it stigma or you don't know this about yourself, I would encourage you to do it if you think it would make you feel better, because research shows it will. So why is it the case that it doesn't matter so much the theory that the therapist has, but that regardless of the therapy, they tend to make you feel better? Well, it might be that the main thing that matters is helping the patient verbalize and come to understand whatever it is that bothers him or her. And maybe that's the main function of going to therapy. It's just the same function of the pen and paper essay exercise, the same function of calling your friend right after the breakup, trying to get a way to understand the difficult and challenging things that happen to you that would make you feel worse. So some conclusions from this little mini lecture on this small topic. We're pretty good at getting over things. In the case of positive emotions, we're too good at it, right? We would like the lottery to make us feel better 5 years later. We like getting tenure to make you feel better 5 years later. We would like to be, on cloud nine about our candidate winning an election, a year or 2 years after the fact, but we just don't. You can't get over the things that you don't understand, and so for negative emotional experiences, it's critical that you create a web of meaning, a narrative, a story by which you can claim order and meaning around the negative things that happen to you. And everybody has things that they haven't quite gotten over, things that linger in their mind. And this research suggests that they affect you. They affect your mental and physical well-being. And if you could trigger your affective immune system to get over them, you would do better on both fronts. So if you can create meaning or a story for understanding these things, you can get over these things. And this is why counseling and introspection are good for mental health, but not rumination or fixation. Excessive rumination or fixation is not a good thing. So don't take this too far. So the big takeaway on this lecture, I know you're like, wait, I'm supposed to hear a little bit, but not too much. Yeah, well, that is the message. Balance in all things. And so the big takeaway here is preserve the mystery in positive things that happen to you. Don't try so hard to understand their causes. Don't explain them away immediately. Relish your positive experiences. Don't be hurried to understand them, but do rush to make a narrative for understanding and comprehending the negative things that happen to you. Okay, so now we'll take a 2 or 3 minute break and then we'll talk about happiness, a very related subject. Oh, no, seriously? Damn, so typical. Thank you. Okay, all right, if I get your attention, we'll do, things are getting busy. It's the end of the semester. There's tons of stuff to take care of in every lecture. Among the many, many things we must take care of, I must announce that we will have a final exam in this class. I know it's as shocking to you as it is to me. I thought for a while, we don't really need to have a final exam. Now I was like, no, I got a final exam. Okay, so the final exam is on the last day of class, as stated in the syllabus. As also stated in the syllabus, or as I say on the first day of class, you'll hate this briefly, but then you'll be thankful later. Aren't people older than you always telling you that? So, yes, you will be very resentful of me on Wednesday, May the 6th, possibly even Tuesday, May the 5th. But come Thursday, May the 7th at 12:31 p.m., you will be very happy because you'll be able to concentrate on your other exams, and you'll knock this out well early. Where is the exam? It's here. It's at a regular time, fun, mandatory. Okay, very, very fun final exam. Okay. Oh, yeah, people ask for what are the correct answers to the quiz. Bless you. What? I don't know what. I can't. For some reason, okay. Hold on. Okay, there were 6 questions on this quiz. What were the right answers to them? Research on the police officer's dilemma investigates why African Americans are more often the victims of accidental police shootings. Which of the following is the reason that stereotype threat impairs standardized test performance? Because it reduces working memory capacity? Not because it primes the stereotype of the elderly. That's absurd. Absurd. Who would study such a thing? Nisbet Wilson's Telling More Than We Can Know is a paper associated with the idea that people have little insight into causes of their behavior. I think I just stated that like a minute and a half before the quiz, so I'm sure you all got that right. In Dijksterhuis and von Nippenberg, how did priming resistance to the concept of professor affect the performance in a game of Trivial Pursuit? It improved it. That was pretty easy. By the way, somebody found out, you found out what the right way is to pronounce Dijksterhuis, right? And how far off am I? Like, yeah? Okay, all right, so that's not bad. Yeah, okay, so there you go. Okay, so according to Timothy Wilson, modern psychologists were reluctant to study the unconscious because of its association with left-handed scholar Sigmund Freud. And what is the central idea of chapter 10 of Height's happiness hypothesis? Happiness comes from between. Boo, boo, everyone's booing this. I don't know why. You don't want to know where happiness comes from. Okay, well, I'm sorry then. My apologies for telling you where happiness comes from. Or just asking you where happiness comes from. Okay, all right, you're all done deliberating now. You're done booing and hissing. You're still upset. And you're right to be upset. Testing you on the reading material. Okay, well, if you didn't like the last question, you're going to hate this lecture because it's about happiness. So in recent years, like over the last 10 to 15 years, there's been an explosion of research on the causes and factors that promote human happiness. And another thing that they call this area besides happiness research is positive psychology. And this is the only picture I could find that seemed to exemplify happiness. The one I had last year was this disturbing picture of this family, like with these just screaming, smiling faces running through a meadow, as I'm always alluding to. And it just disturbed people, and it made them feel bad, and so I'm not going to do that to you anymore. So what is positive psychology? It is the study of what factors increase or decrease happiness, or because they're social scientists and have to have a new name for everything, subjective well-being. Subjective well-being, what is subjective well-being? It is happiness. Why did they invent the name subjective well-being? I don't know, but it's irritating. Okay, so this is a new and growing area associated with a lot of people that are really, really good at telling you why you would be happy or not. Martin Seligman, and then this guy whose name I will now pronounce for you. Mihai Csikszentmihalyi. Yeah, that was not easy. And actually, Nora, I wish she was here because I think she co-authored a paper with Mihai Csikszentmihalyi. Yeah, okay. So I just gratuitously am going to say that a few times because I can pronounce it. It took me like 4 years to figure out how to pronounce it. Now it's surprisingly easy. So also another area where this stuff goes on, where positive psychology research is done, is funded, is cultivated, and promoted, is here at Berkeley in the Greater Good Science Center, which I'm associated with, and which is whose executive director is Dr. Kellner, who teaches a big social psychology class as well in the psychology department. And if you haven't taken it, or Serena Chen's version of the class, I highly advise you take it. It will put my class to utter shame. You will love it, and it'll fit nicely with the material you learned here. Okay, so what are some of the methods that people use to study happiness? I mean, how do you study happiness? And one of the distinguishing things about this area is that they tend to study it in creative, different ways. So one thing they do is real simple stuff. Large-scale surveys of reported happiness. Kind of thing that sociologists and social scientists are doing all the time. One of their favorite things to do is look at how happiness varies across different countries. Do you know what the happiest country in the world is? Bhutan. That's right, Bhutan. And Bhutan is so happy that they're happy that they measure progress in their country via their collective level of subjective well-being. So when they do things, pass legislation, think about the government doing things, they think about how will this affect our average subjective well-being in the country, which is a very, very sweet way to approach government. Okay, another approach, and again, I wish Nora was here, but she's off doing something. I don't know. Another thing, I wish she was here because she uses this research method. The only person maybe on campus that uses it, and it's called the experience sampling method. And what this involves is you have like a beeper, and you're beeped in your everyday life, and you're asked, how happy are you right now? And you say, I'm pretty happy, I was busy, thank you, and you just get like beeped and beeped and beeped a lot, and you get to report how happy you are. And it's a good way to observe how happy are people in the course of everyday life, and it also will ask, what are you doing right now, right? And so you can try and figure out what it is in everyday life that makes you feel more or less happy. So the question is this the best way to measure happiness? Are these large-scale international surveys, and then these very small-scale kind of studies where they look at an individual person across the course of their day via the beeper experience sampling method, are these the best methods that we could use to study happiness?